Mayegun live. Happy Boxing Day, compliment of the season, Merry Christmas, all join. Brethren of the Temple of Truth. Thank you so much for joining me. Please, after reading the caption of this broadcast, remember to read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we have loads of updates to really talk about. But we are starting with the recent interview from the junta head, the head of Niger Republic government. His name is Tiani. The head of the military junta that removed the French or France puppets, Bazoum, from power last year. The head of the military junta that Tinubu was going to invade the Niger Republic for, and he later denied, if not because that we have the evidence. The head of Nigerian government, Tiani, has come out to drop another bombshell. Not like we are totally surprised or shocked, but it is just that we are a little bit, kind of like surprised for the detailed expose from this man, which, as many of us who have been following the developments, the geopolitical ruckus going on in the Sahel, the West African countries that have chased away France from their territory, from Niger to Burkina Faso, to Mali, to Chad, and then, dubiously Senegal, which we have confirmed now that, this guy in Senegal only kind of mentioned chasing chasing France away, but he never really meant it. But that's a story for another time. According to Tiani, he said that after the efforts of Tinubu to invade Niger Republic last year, mobilizing the Nigerian soldiers in an operation they called, if you look at it, said impending operations in Niger Republic, WNGO, in which they intended to go to Niger Republic and remove the man in the middle of the image on your screen after the overthrow of the French puppets, the man that rigged the election, jailed his opposition, and declared himself winner of the most corrupt election in their country history. So those who were protecting his regime, his tyrannical regime, Bazoum's regime, removed him. And that was like a big shock to France, because for decades, France has been milking this West African country like it is just their piggy bank. They have been exploiting their mineral resources with no recourse to developing the region or the country. To make the matter worse, this military junta believed that, with evidence that the increase in terrorism in their region is factually sponsored by France, despite the fact that they had the French base in their country. Terrorists in that region, the Fulani terrorists, the Sahel terrorists, in that region, continue to wax stronger. So if you can't really protect us, right, what is the point in having you in our country? So they chased France away. as they chased France away, the first point of call was Nigeria, where another CIA asset, the drug baron, Tinubu, just successfully captured the supposed biggest black nation on earth. Yes, the biggest, or the country with the largest concentration of slaves in the whole world, right? So they partnered with him, and they talk of using Nigeria to invade Niger Republic and reinstate Bazoum was underway, but thwarted by a very, very prominent, investigative journalist, David Undenyi, which prevented what could have been a blown-out war between Niger and Nigeria. But the effort to try to untwist the Nigerian junta in making them fall in line, economically, Nigeria embarked on a lot of economic sabotage of Niger Republic, including security sabotage of Niger Republic. So this Nigerian leader just came out yesterday, and he just dropped the bombshell that, yes, they failed in their first attempt of invading Niger, which the Tinubu and his gang denied, or evidence proved otherwise. Tinubu wrote to the Nigerian Senate that they should give him approval to invade Niger Republic. That request was rejected, if all of you can remember that. Now, they didn't stop there. He imposed economic sanction on Niger Republic to trigger what was like supposed to be a protest, a breakdown of law and order in Niger Republic. That too failed. Now, the increase in the terrorism in the border between Nigeria and Niger Republic has now been pointed to the effort of France and Tinubu. This afternoon, Tinubu's illegitimate regime came out and they denied ever funding terrorism. According to this Nigerian leader, you see this ISWAP, Boko Haram, as well as this recent one, Lakurawa, they are the handiwork of Tinubu, which is Nigeria, and France. It is such a very weighty allegation and accusation coming from the head of a state of another country, something that ordinarily, right, would be vehemently, all right, denied, right? Because it's actually a weighty allegation to say Tinubu and France, they are actually working hand in hand to destabilize Niger Republic using terrorism by allowing the terrorists that Niger has been fighting to camp further camping in Nigeria and the border between Nigeria and Niger. They have lost so many of their own soldiers fighting these terrorists. So when the leader of the Niger Republic dropped this bombshell, that is what has now triggered a lot of reactions from those who are defending Nigeria, because according to some of them, they said Niger is only jealous of Tinubu because what they rejected, Tinubu has embraced it, which is they rejected France, and Nigeria under Tinubu has embraced France. So, which practically means what Niger lost is Nigeria's gain. So that is from those like the Ronu coups, the Ronu Nazis, the Ronu bandits, the Yoruba Ponus, the Lagos Aboba coups. They are using this. But what others are now saying is that what exactly do you think Niger Republic lost in France that Nigeria is gaining? France has been milking Niger Republic for decades. Niger is one of the most poorest states in the whole world. It has never benefited them. Niger is also one of the most terrorized countries in the world, courtesy of those who are milking their resources illegally, illegitimately. So, this Nigerian leader said in Hausa that France actually gave Tinubu a lot of money to allow them to temporarily relocate their soldiers, French forces, to relocate them to northern Nigeria, especially Borno and Sokoto. Something they denied, even though we have the evidence of those we kind of considered as the mercenaries, who are now saying they are working with Nigerian army in chasing terrorists. According to this Nigerian leader, he believes that Nigeria will suffer a great deal of terrorism in the coming months and years because of this Tinubu's move. I hope I still have my friends here who can help me do some interpretation, okay? I have the summary of what he said, and I can easily tell you that in English, but I need to share this clip with you. This is the controversial interview that has now exposed the culpability of Tinubu and France in nourishing, funding the terrorists in Nigeria and the Niger Republic. However, there's also a part of the story tonight where the Nigerian Air Force bombed 2 communities in Sokoto. According to them, they were bombing the gathering of Lakurawa terrorists. So they killed tens of people. So far, so good. We have no idea of how many people, but the number is in the range of over 80 people bombed and blown into mistress in Nigeria, Sokoto State. So at first, they denied. In fact, Tinubu's people actually jumped on social media to call the news fake news. A few hours later, some of them with their tail within their legs hid their faces, while those who could come out to kind of like a spin it said, well, the report has now confirmed that it was a mistake. It won't be the first time of mistakenly bombing civilians or even try to blame them. We have seen some of the Ronukus who are now saying that those who were bombed in Sokoto, they were housing or harboring terrorists. And that was why the Nigerian Air Force mistakenly bombed them. This is Nigeria. Please don't be a victim. As much as a lot of us don't even have any choice, do not be a victim of that contraption. When they say, may Nigeria not happen to you, this is what it means. But let's listen to this quickly.
Su sun ka zo tunda sun ga ta sama ne sojan Chadi ke kai ma yan Boko hari sai sun ka ba su makamai masu sabke jirgi.
Kaji ma ke
Faransa ta ba yan Boko Haram. Kwarai ko
da jirgin Chadi ya zo
a halbe shi. Wannan abin tabbas 16 ga wata na Oktobar sun kai wannan. Sun ka kawo musu makamai. Don kaga tsibirin Chadi Faransa sun aji. Rahoton da muka samu ga manyan 'yan ta'addan nan da muka kama sun ka ce muna to akwai wata shawara da ake yi amma shugabannin Najeriya sun san da ita. Shine akwai wani daji da aka ce ma gaba nan wajen Sokoto ga gayinsu yake. Dajin nan ana son a maida shi tsibiri ne na 'yan ta'adda waɗanda aka ce ma Lakurawa. Wannan wasiƙa ta rijejeniya watan Mars, wata na 3, rana 4 ga wannan wata an ka yi ta tsakanin 'yan Faransa da ISWAP, ba Boko Haram ba, ISWAP, tsakankaninsu da ISWAP. Tunda su ne a wilaya suke gayi, su ne da alaƙa da waɗanga a cikin Mali wanda aka ce ma ita Islamic Ogaran Sahara. Don wannan rijejeniya budewa wurin da aka ce ma na Lakurawa cikin dajin gaba can za a budewa wani tsibiri wani gungu da 'yan ta'adda ne za su watsuwa wannan Sokoto ne Zamfara ne Kebbi ne duka za su watsuwa. Amma ya ce muna wallahi shugabannin Najeriya suna da labari. To mu sai mun ka ɗauki zancen nashi ƙarya shi kai don bai son mu ba Najeriya wannan bayanin ne. Tunda muna dibin da mu da Najeriya Allah na tuba ba ta yiwa mu ji abin da zai cuta musu mu koyi. Shugabansu na rahoto da bayani ana ce mishi tunda an sauya shi mai sauya ma da an kai mai wani aiki ne an ka bashi ana ce mai Ahmed Abubakar Rufa'i mun ka kiraye shi mun ka ce mai to kaga abinda Faransa ke da niyyar yi tunda ba mu yi tsammani ba ya ce to yana turowa mutane su zo su kwashi isasshen rahoto ya turo mutane mun ka ɗauki nauyinsu DGDSA ta Niger ta ɗauki nauyinsu yawonsu gidan kaso nan Yamai ne cikin ƙasa ne babu inda ba a kai su ba sun ka tattauna da 'yan ta'adda tunda ba guda ba biyu ba uku ne mun ka kama abu ne da nasiri ne ba za a gayin shi ba sun ka tattauna da su sun ka gaya musu ga abinda Faransa take son ta kirkira sun ka koma da wannan rahoto sai da baya ne kai mun ka gane da zamba cikin aminci tunda mun zo mun gane da wanda mun kai kira mun ka gaya ma Ahmed Abubakar Rufa'i yana cikin waɗanda shine turawa ke ce ma puan focal da 'yan ta'adda ke gani shi ke tura su foro har wata ƙasa da aka ce ma Centrafrique in sun komo shi ke karɓar su makamansu ne a kuɗi ne na abinci farfaro ne
duk shi ke bada
shi ke kula da su da bayan mun ka gane sa'annan har an yi ɓanna tunda mun aminci mun ka bi ashe ba haka ba ne kaji ko da mun ka gane wannan mun gaya musu ba mu ga kuma wa za mu gaya ba tunda shi ne ke kula da wannan akwai guda ana ce mai Nuhu Ribado shi ma ya san da zancen shi har yanzu ma yana bisa karaga shi ne a National Security Advisor shi ne mashawarcin shugaban kasa Bola Tinubu akan sha'anin tsaro duk sun san da zancen kuma duk sun kai shiru da zancen nan ne mun ka gane kenan harakan nan kihi tun ga kai ne ya rube ba wuciya ce ta rube kan kihi ne ya rube da mun ka gani wannan mun ka ce to mu ɗauki matakai lakura wannan in an kasu menene abin da za a ba su aikin da za a ba su yi bututun man France waɗanga da annan cikin Benin ina zuwa ga Benin don in gaya ma zoben da sun kai muna bututunmu na mai cikin watan Mayu sun ka fara cewa a ɗauko musu rahoto bisa bututunmu na mai duk inda yake shiga cikin bushiya cikin kwayi kamar inda ada itace da yawa cikin gumbi a gaya musu a ɗauko hoto a yi bidiyo a aika musu suna nan Benin bututunmu na mai banda bututunmu na mai al'umma sun yi niyya da ba za a noma ba kaji tsibiri na bui ga na lakchad ga na sokoto zamfara
zuwa kebbi
tsibiri na uku shine Benin arewa Benin cikin W akwai wani gari da aka ce mai Forga ga turanci na bada wasu kordone ake ce musu ga turanci da na bada za su gwada ma inda Forga take Forgan nan in ka yi tahiya arewa maso yamma kilo 5 kana zuwa bisa kai ga inda 'yan ƙasa forces special na Faransa suke zamne yanzu haka zancen ga da nike ma inda ba wanga bayani sun ka jiya ba sun ka ba su ma iya tunda sun yi gini kwarai in ma sun tsere suna barin gini in ka tai kana tardo gini ko babu mutane ciki nan sun kai guda sun kai shi wani wuri da aka ce ma duk dai cikin Benin da aka ce ma Penjari shi ma wani kwayi ne itace ke da kwai da yawa ita Forga tana iyaka ga Burkina ita waga Penjari tana iyaka ga Togo force special na Faransa nan suke kan su koma nan sai da sun kai zama wani otal da Cotonou sun kai wata guda suna cikin su wajen 250 in kun tai kun tambaya yan Benin ko da kake jin ana wani minahici ana cewa babu turawa cikin kasan an kai tsibiri na Benin na Park W da Penjari an kai tsibiri tunda cikin
Thank you so much, Garba Life, for that help of helping us to interpret what he is saying. I have this viewer who is sounding more like those who have tried to defend Nigeria or defended Tinubu by calling him weak or calling him dumb. It is either you are the one who has fallen for the propaganda of Nigeria and therefore giving excuses for them. For those of us who have been following this, even during the days and times of Boko Haram, you know that even under Boko Haram, it got to a stage where Chad, Niger, these two countries had to pull out from the joint operation between Nigeria and them in fighting these terrorists. Nigeria has always been on the what is pretty much like a defensive, where until the terrorist attacks, okay, you won't see Nigeria pushing back or what have you. And in most cases, they will receive order. Soldiers will receive order that they should not fight these terrorists. We have had instances where these terrorists were moving, and rather than the same air force to bring out their fighter jets and bomb them or whatever it is, rather than do that, they just hold on and let them move until they will enter and get to their destination. Do you know that this same Lakurawa that they are now calling out, that Nigeria is pretending to be fighting now? Did you know that the same Nigerian army defended Lakurawa, that they are peaceful people, that they are not violent terrorists? And you know that most of these terrorists passing through this Niger border, the only place they've had any confrontation with any government has been from the Nigerian side. So why would you call that conspiracy or call him dumb? They do not have the same weaponry like Nigeria. They do not have the same size of the military like Nigeria. They do not have the same equipment like you have in Nigeria. They look up to Nigeria, in case if you don't know. Under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Nigeria was actually even helping them to pay their soldiers when Jonathan was fighting Boko Haram then. So why would you call that conspiracy theory? When you have a system where it has been established that these terrorists wouldn't have been this so strong and powerful without the support of these foreign entities like France. Are we going to pretend that the terrorists getting their weapons from all these foreign countries is not real? Are we going to pretend? Nigerians have had some, including the Burkina Faso, Mali. They've had hundreds, if not thousands, of their soldiers killed by these terrorists. When France was chased out of Niger, there is this Sahel, all these Sahel terrorists. There's this guy who happened to be their spokesperson. But they flew the guy to Paris, to a TV station in Paris, to talk about their rights, the Tuareg terrorists, flown to France. Are we going to call that conspiracy as well? So we have the Ronukus who are saying that the guy is only just jealous of Tinubu. And I'm like, what is there to be jealous of? The guy said they received, they have the intel. He passed them on to Nigeria. The people that are supposed to know that these guys, they are moving to Kirby, moving to Sokoto, moving to all this northern part of Nigeria. And they are not only just going to destabilize Nigeria, they will destabilize Niger Republic as well. And this is the handiwork of France. How do you fight this terrorist sponsor who have done everything to keep your region, to keep this West African region totally, or more like ungovernable? We've had instances just yesterday, was it 2 days ago? what is that guy's name? Christopher Musa, your chief of defense staff, came out and said some of these NGOs, he didn't mention them. He said some of these NGOs they are doing what's it called, I mean, they are treating terrorists. They are also using their NGO licenses, right, to move their trucks to give food to the terrorists, okay, to give medical supplies to them, including weapons.